who's the worst football team in this area last year? Giants were 3-14.
Yeah, they were pretty bad.
That's were 5-12.
What about the Patriots? Patriots bad.
Patriots were 4-13.
Oh,
so Giants, we'll go Giants, Patriots, Jets.
Okay, Giants.
Let's start with the Giants.
Ooh.
Is this if you said in the first segment, if Dybul doesn't do well this year, is he done?
I thought he was done last year. Same with Joe Shane. I mean, when you get
the Joe Shane Saquon thing, he deserves to go. I'll never ever forget that. And I'm not a Giants fan. I mean, I like the Giants, but that's doing a guy like that and then taping it.
Now you got to win 2 Super Bowls.
Yeah.
Like winning 1 Super Bowl still doesn't cut it. Now
That
you got to win
gets
2
you
Super
even
Bowls.
with the Eagles.
Right. 1 Super Bowl makes you even. And even I don't even think that does it because you still gave them 1. So now you got to do 2 to best that just to make me forget about the stupidity that you pulled last year.
Off to a good start, though. The first pick, Abdul Carter. Love this kid. Can't go wrong. If he plays like Micah Parsons in a Giants uni, it's gravy.
My favorite thing about the New York Giants in the last 3 years have been the defensive front. Mainly big boy, sexy Dexy up in the middle, nose tackle Dexter Lawrence. And then you couple that with Golston, and you got some great defensive ends, and you had Thibodeau running around there. Then you picked up Brian Burns. Like the only thing good in Carolina Panthers in the last 5 years was Brian Burns. And now you add him, and he's going to be healthy, ready to go at your will. Now your middle linebacker or your outside, your specialty guy, I guess they'd put him as a Sam, strong side linebacker. Abdul Carter could be a total game changer for this defense. Not just like shutting guys down, but actually converting defense into offense where you can stack up a 4th and long so deep that you're going to get the ball at midfield, that you can create turnovers, that you're going to get the ball in the red zone. I think, New York Giants offense is to be desired. But when you can't tackle and you're always starting on the 25-yard line opposite, that is a long day, brother. So if they can have a playmaker in the middle that can operate, because like I bring up those other guys because you have to pay attention to them. You have to double team Dexter Lawrence. You have to know where Brian Burns is lining up. And if you've got your attention so much on those guys already, that allows this freak of nature to roam free and make plays all over the place. I'm really excited to see what this defense looks like.
All right, so Malik Neighbors from last year is an absolute keeper.
Yeah, he's a baller,
nails,
man.
but he wants out. He's like, this team sucks and I want to go.
Got to make him happy.
Got to make him happy.
Yeah.
Newman was your second pick. Phillips was your third pick, a cornerback out of Kentucky. I'll stop about the third round there. You look at those two. I mean, I remember when the Bengals had like 4 or 5 years of a lot of really good picks because they were so awful that they were able to build through the draft and then become a good franchise. Has this franchise drafted well enough the last couple of years to where now you're going to see some substantial gains, especially this year? What would be a win total after you won 3 last year? 6, 7?
They got to get the
500?
playoffs, man. They got to flip this thing around into a playoff team.
If you win like 8 or 9
they
games
have to
this
win
year,
9.
but if you win 9 games, that's a major increase in production.
It's twofold for this team. It's double what they put out. But, the year before that, they were winning a lot of one.
It can be done. The Commanders did it.
Yeah, for sure.
The Commanders
this is
did
the
it.
league
A
where
lot
you
of
can
it was through getting Daniels, the quarterback.
I was going to bring that up. A lot of these teams that make that flip-flop have a dynamite quarterback that was not there the year before. I don't know if I can say that about Russell Wilson after what I saw in Pittsburgh in the last years in Denver. However, with what you're saying in their draft, man, like we've been talking the last 3 draft chat Mondays after the draft about this franchise and how well they've done. And they've done some no-brainer stuff with some big sloppies that make a lot of sense. And their specialty guys, they've hit on. Malik Neighbors is a hit. Tyrone Tracy Jr. at running back is a hit.
Yep.
Like, they've got players. My thing is, I love the Cam Scatterbo pick because you can use that Swiss Army knife in a bunch of different spots. I'm just not impressed with Dable being some kind of X's and O's genius like he was made out to be coming from Buffalo. I'm still yet to see this guy.
That's a great point. That so many of these guys are way better coordinators than they are
head coaches,
delegators.
Yes.
Listen, you got 20 coaches underneath you. You've got to be able to oversee them properly. And maybe he does know the X's and O's, but he's not allowed to do a lot with the X's and O's because he's got to put somebody in that position. I mean, look, Jim Moore Jr. last year. Jim Moore Jr. stopped calling plays and delegated it to somebody else, and then all of a sudden the defense got so much better. When you look at some of these guys that they drafted this year, you got to develop them. This was something we ripped the Jets about. They don't develop quarterbacks. Well, now the Giants they haven't really developed a quarterback since Eli Manning.
I think a lot of heat's on offensive coordinator Mike Kafka. If Kafka does not come through with it this year, I just think there's going to be a lot of personnel changes in the New York Giants if they don't win this year.
But what if they tease the owner and finish 8-9?
I mean, with this franchise and that owner, they can keep their jobs.
I think this is.
I wouldn't, but yeah,
right. And that's the thing. The Moors don't like to fire.
Yeah.
Jerry Jones. I'm a fan of my Cowboys. He does not like to fire people. It took him forever to get rid of Mike McCarthy. And I think it was because Mike McCarthy started sniffing around for other jobs and a big extension, and Jerry was like, "I've had enough of that. You're not going to do that to me."
I agree.
So I just think that some of these owners, and you nailed it too, even with we were talking Shedeur Sanders. I truly believe, I don't think there was collusion. They don't need to, because they think all the owners hate each other anyway. But they're like, you won't tell us our business.
So true.
Mr. Sanders,
it doesn't matter
Dion,
if it's Dion, or if it doesn't matter if it's Dad X. You don't tell us our business.
You don't tell us our business, and you don't publicly tell us our business. And that's what I think that statement was about.
We'll see with the Giants. I think they've got a very good chance. I think a lot is keyed on Russell Wilson and how he brings everybody together on offense. Defense, I think, is fine. I mean, secondary's got some question marks, but they got some players this year. I think if what makes a secondary really good is a great defensive line, and they've got that. So we'll see what happens. The New York Jets, I don't think they did that bad. I don't think they, made big splashes, but I don't think they have gaping hole needs. They could fill up their defensive line a little bit more than what they have, but they went offensive tackle right off the bat. I mean, they need to have an established front set. Yeah. And with their quarterback, with Justin Fields or Tyrod Taylor, whoever wins this, we shall see what's going on.
I like them both. Listen, Tyrod's a professional at this point.
It makes it easier when you can stand there and you have somebody to block for. I mean, it doesn't matter if it's Justin Fields. It doesn't matter if it's Patrick Mahomes. If they're running around for their life for 17 weeks, it's going to be a long season. You're not going to make the playoffs.
God, Justin Fields was the can't-miss quarterback a few years ago. If he's not motivated this year to show everybody, you didn't miss on me. That two teams later and on your third team in, 4 years?
Yeah.
I just think that I think he's a talented kid. And if he wins the starting job, you just let him start. I mean, here's the whole Russell Wilson thing irked me because they were winning with him, and everybody's confident. And then I don't have the schedule in front of me. Maybe you were going to hit a lull, and you're like, let's shove Russell in there, and then Russell's going to win a few games, and then I'm going to look like a genius. And that's exactly what happened. He won a few games. Then what did he lose? His last 5? So for Justin Fields, this kid has to be like, I'm the younger 26-year-old version of any of these quarterbacks. I've got to make a statement with the Jets, especially after you just got rid of future Hall of Famer Aaron Rodgers to let me have this job.
I hope they name him the starter as well. I think he has really never had, besides being the Bears quarterback, and there's just all these circumstances.
But the
with
Bears
Justin
were
Fields'
trash
story.
with him.
So true.
I mean, it's like you got to give this guy something around him to give him a chance. He can't just. This guy extends plays, and he's not a running back. He's not a wide receiver. He can't do every position himself. You got to have some blocking. I mean, and listen, anybody the Bears are drafting still going to be getting the crap beat out of them. You've got to build around him.
And I've always loved his demeanor when he answers questions.
He's a cool cat, man.
And he takes it. He understands. He gets it. At the quarterback position, he knows he's going to be scrutinized. As the backup quarterback, he knows he doesn't have the voice. He left Georgia knowing he was going to compete with 2 guys to get the starting role, and he knew that Kirby Smart wasn't going to give him that starting role going into spring. He transfers to Ohio State, where he did pretty damn good there, and that's where he makes his name to go to the Bears. He was there for 2 years, 2 different coaches, 2 different coordinators.
Yeah.
Then he finally goes to Pittsburgh behind Russell Wilson. This would be like the first time since Ohio State that if they name him by July or August, that he has control of the offense. It's his team. I don't think Tyrod Taylor is going to be be that upset about it. He's used to this. This is his role in the NFL as being an all-time backup. I think it will serve the Jets well, Justin Fields well, if they name that.
What do you think of this Mason Taylor? You're still kind of quiet. He's 6'5", 255, out of LSU.
Yeah. I mean, he's got all the.
What about Arian Smith
build
out of Georgia?
Georgia's wide receiver, Arian Smith. Another
Speedster?
guy. Yes, that's the only thing that I keep coming back to. But again, like, I think of Arian Smith as
kind of small, 6 foot 185.
Yes, he is a slot inside receiver.
I know rosters. You know rosters. Usually, you say 6 foot. He's 5'11" or 5'10".
Correct.
He's 175 pounds.
Yes. And again, like, that's different if he is in Kansas City's offense. He works perfect. I mean, he is a guy that can take top off the defense from an inside situation. Inside meaning he's not the guy furthest to the sideline. He's the next guy in as a slot receiver. He is undersized. He's too undersized to be outside, so he's got to be inside. You have to have an offensive coordinator to know what the hell they're doing to put those pieces in the right position to be open. Jets, Justin Fields, I haven't seen that in a long time. So if this guy was on Kansas City, I would have liked him better. But, yeah, he's got speed. He doesn't have big size, and he's kind of a question mark coming in there to this offense. They're going to need some help. I think Garrett Wilson's one of the best receivers in the league, and we'll see what we get from Allen Lazard on that offense. But Justin Fields is going to need help to be successful. He is not a guy that can just make it happen in any situation, as he has proven in Chicago and Pittsburgh.
He's got to catch the ball, too. He makes a lot of
Arian
drops.
Smith?
Yep.
Yeah, that's a big part of being a receiver in the league.
Post-catch, he's great. But the key phrase there is catch. Got to catch the ball.
And Malachi Moore out of Alabama is a player. The safety that the Jets got, I think this guy's going to work himself into a bunch of nickel packages, if not be a starter by the end of the year. You're going to see him on special teams a lot. This is a good get for the New York Jets. A solid pick. When you get an Alabama defender, I mean, you can pretty much pencil it in that it's going to be a
Getting back
pick.
to his measurements from the combine, 6 foot, 179, hand size 9. Don't care about all the other stuff, but the 40-yard dash, 4.36.
Yeah, he's one of those burners.
You can't teach that. That's a burner. So someone's got to teach him how to catch the ball and then do something with it.
I think Garrett Wilson is just an all-around guy that he is going to be the one that you lean on to build an offense around. I think everything else is somewhat secondary, even the running back position. Like Breece Hall, is he going to be 100% coming in? Some question marks there. But the Jets are pretty solid on defense, as they were last year and the year before. We'll see if they can keep that up.
Patriots.
I like Will Campbell. I love that big offensive line. They got it number 4 overall. Big guy from LSU. Then following that up with a great solid running back in Trayvon Henderson. I'm a
big fan of this kid.
I'm a fan of him.
Those two running backs got Ohio State where they were last year.
Yeah, Judkins went to the Browns, right? Yep. Early second round, and then this guy followed right. I think I honestly, when you watch an Ohio State game, and I don't know, maybe Buckeye fans, as crazy as they are, and they watch every game like 5 times over and watch film because they're crazy like that. Maybe they could tell me different. But if you took Judkins' jersey and put it on Henderson put it on Judkins, I can't tell you the difference, Dibs. I think they're both A-plus running backs, and they both have similar styles. They're both kind of bruisers, but both have speed. So we shall see if who has the better situation. I think Judkins, obviously on the Browns, is going to get a lot of time there. Trayvon's going to have to be sitting behind Ramondre if they stick with Ramondre, which I think they will. But that's a pretty good 1-2 punch. You have Ramondre Stevenson as your first and second down guy, and then Trey Henderson as your third down guy.
Have you seen this Kyle Williams? He reminds me of Steve Smith.
Oh, the little
wide receiver out of Washington State.
Yeah.
Dude, he's a knot.
He is a knot.
Oh, look at
he's a
legs
slot
on this
guy.
kid.
Now, you got Stephon Diggs on the Patriots now. Don't forget about that.
Great.
Don't forget about that. And don't forget about his injuries either. Like, he's might be a little slower than what he was going through. But you would think that Diggs and Demario Douglas are going to be your outside guys, mixing in a little Kendrick Bourne, maybe some Boutte, and then you have Kyle Williams filling in those gaps.
4.4 speed. 5'11", 190, reminds you Edelman and all the other guys.
As much as we've knocked the Patriots specialty players since that 18-1 season and Randy Moss and everybody has left the building, man, I'll roll with Stephon Diggs any day of the week. I love Stevenson and Trey Henderson. Like, that's great. Drake Mayo can sling it. They've got some receivers to play with, and don't forget about the tight ends. They added Austin Hooper to go along with Hunter Henry. That's a good little offense right there that's got talent all over the place. And I'm not going to be shocked if this defensive side of the ball is one of the best that we've seen in a long time from the New England Patriots because who their head coach is right now.
Same knocks against what we talked about with Smith is the same stuff that we're talking about here with Kyle Williams.
Short.
Dropping balls.
What? Oh, you mean the Smith kid from the Jets, the Arian Smith,
Arian
Georgia?
Smith.
I was going to say
Kyle
Steve
Williams.
Smith ain't dropping
no
no
balls.
balls.
Steve's a Hall of Famer.
Well, here's my thing about Washington State. I didn't watch much of them, but what I know from their program is they throw the football about 80 times a game. So I'm sure he has some drops, but I'm sure he has had some
catches,
some targets as well. I bet you his targets are over 200 or 150. So if you got that many targets, you're going to have some drops.
What does this mean in scouting report? He doesn't run out his deep routes. He breaks them off early.
So if I'm like a cover 4, right? And that means the corners and the safeties are dropping deep. They think you're going to throw a bomb. And it's like 3rd and 12. And you're running let's just call it go deep, dude. You see that corner dropping back. And there ain't no way the quarterback is going to throw it far enough where it's just not enough football field. The guy can't throw 80 yards, and there's not enough football field to complete that pass. You got to cut your route off about 5, 10, 15 yards down the field, knowing that guy's dropping. Quarterback already knows. So if you're a wide receiver going into the NFL and you have never done that in college, it's going to be a whole new world for you because you have to know those things as a pro. We're not going to tell you, dude. It's not going to be on the, playbook.
Right.
It is going to be adjustment.
So breaking routes sometimes, an extended play to come back and be open.
That's a feel, and
Right.
that's something that's like an innate thing that you should know as a wide receiver at the professional level, and your quarterback better know it because if he doesn't, he's going to be fired.
Good.
So we'll see. I like this Kyle Williams. The more I'm watching film on him, and a kid to stick with Washington State, man, with all the turmoil that's been going on with that school as far as their conference realignment and everything like that, that shows me something too.
All right, so our kid I got picked the wrong team.
What, Buff?
Buffalo Bills.
Chase Lund?
Chase Lund. You give me some stuff on him.
I've always been impressed with his work ethic.
That's what I'm saying. Can they work with this kid?
Because he's 6'8", 3 bills. Like, that's what you love about him.
Can't teach that.
And I do like what David Benedict told us 2 weeks ago about Chase Lund. Kind of sticks in my head. He has more starts in Division I college football at the offensive tackle position than most of these guys coming out. I understand it's the situation in UConn. They have less than 5 stars coming in to compete with your freshman and sophomore year. But still, starts are starts. He's been in the fire for a lot of stuff. I don't think this guy's going to fear the NFL level, and I think he's already in a weight room somewhere or probably getting a playbook somewhere. Like, this guy will put 100% effort into it. And being an offensive tackle in this league, like you said about Shedeur and everybody else, once you get a ticket to this circus, staying in is really what it's all about.
Yeah.
And he is at a position, at a size and a weight where you can stay in and just hang. And even if you don't get a spot, trust me, Chase, an offensive tackle spot will open up by week 6 in this league. They go down so quick and they're so hard to find. But he's got work to do in order to get on this team and stay on this team because they don't take 10 offensive linemen, man. If you're an offensive tackle, you need to know how to play guard and perhaps center and move around everywhere.
Versatility, absolutely. Any sport. You should play all the positions.
I like the Bills, though. I heard Billy Beane was getting some heat from the radio stations in Buffalo because they didn't draft a wide receiver or they didn't, have a big wide receiver splash. I think they got one in the end. Yeah, they got Prather from Maryland. By the way, another side note, Maryland had like 25 people drafted. What's their problem? Why weren't they in the college football playoff? Seems like they're full of NFL players. But anyway, Beam's on there just giving it to the radio host in Buffalo saying you got to bitch about something, I guess. But I love their draft. They stocked up on defense. They needed to. They got another tight end, Jackson
Brandon
Hawes.
Bean.
What did I say, Billy?
Billy Beane. It's okay.
Get my beans mixed up. My general manager beans.
I'm sure Billy Bean wants to be a GM in the football world too.
He probably, if he's listening to the show, he's, you know what?
That's right. I could do that job too. Money ball in Buffalo. Here we come.
Yeah.
Oh my God.
I think they did a good job though, and Chase Lund's a big part of it.
All right, Dibbles and Bits is next.
91 southbound.